Hello, my name is Chris Clarke and I am the 2012-2013 recipient of the Pettman Dare International Performance Scholarship, which is something I'm extremely grateful for, and that's through the generosity of Professor Barry and Maureen Pettman and the University of Leeds and Opera North. How I found out about PDIPS was through a contact of mine, Heather. We were working together on The Midsummer Night's Dream by Benjamin Britten in Wellington, and she was fresh back from Leeds, and she was telling me about this particular scholarship, and she recommended that I apply for it, and so I did. There were various things that attracted me to the PDIPS scholarship, and one of them was I just finished a whole bunch of trumpet training in Canada, and I'd come back to New Zealand and I just wanted to regroup and kind of take stock of where I was at, and realised that there was a lot more in the music industry that I was interested in than just trumpet playing. And part of that was management and part of that was conducting, and so these things were being offered through the PDIPS program, and that was extremely attractive to me, sort of an opportunity to do that outside of New Zealand, surrounded by leading professionals basically, and in an English-speaking country, which was a big benefit. And so yes, it was a perfect fit for me at where I was at post-training and kind of looking for new ways of moving forward in my career. In terms of my expectations, I didn't have any in particular because I tend to approach my life with sort of an open mind, and I wanted to take everything that PDIPS had on offer just as a completely fresh start and without any kind of prior kind of expectations out of it. But there's certainly been a lot of unexpected things, like opportunities have popped up whilst I've been here. For example, being the right height for a starring role on stage with the Welsh National Opera. I got to go out to Liverpool and play with them on stage. I'm dressed as a French soldier, which was quite an amazing opportunity for me. It was a huge blast, to say the least. And that was certainly something that was unexpected, and I would not have ever known that I could have done that whilst being in New Zealand. So in terms of the day-to-day stuff, I've been spending a lot of time at Opera North, and that's been basically spending time in rehearsal, in the rehearsal period, watching the whole company create these amazing operas, so from the conductor's point of view, from watching how the singers develop their roles and how the stage management sort of move everyone around that. It's quite an amazing process, and a really long, you can't have any shortcuts and everyone's on the ball. I mean, there's a lot of downtime outside of that, but when everyone is in the theatre, it's like it's on, everyone's really professional. And one side note to that is that the company's been extremely accommodating and everyone's so lovely. It's been amazing to be part of that. So as well as that, the rehearsal period, I've been spending time with all levels of management, from the financial people through to marketing and communications, as well as spending time with the general manager, who's been lovely, and sort of familiarising myself with various aspects within the company framework. And to complement that, I've been spending time at the University of Leeds, and that's been at the Performance and Cultural Industries Department. And I've been auditing classes and taking part in various social events, and my aim is to eventually contribute to the university through lecture recitals, and that's something I hope will come through in the future. And what I've found has been an amazing process is having all this practical time and experience at the Opera North, and the academic side of research and sort of concepts of researching practical work basically, and fusing those two together and having new work produced out of that. For example, the website that I'm working on, or even more changing for me was the way I sort of did my output, the way I saw my own trumpet playing, for example, or other ways of looking at what I was doing through a new lens. So they've been an amazing kind of collaborative experience. So I've been living in Leeds for 7 months, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. It's an amazing city. It's got a lot of great food, it's got a lot of great cultural events that happen, and also an amazing sort of part about that is the ability to connect with various places easily by train or public transport. That's certainly something in my downtime when I'm not in contact with the opera company or University of Leeds. I'm on a train most days, exploring new areas. So for example, the other day I went to York, climbed a castle, as you do, which is definitely not possible in New Zealand. I think the oldest thing is probably a building from 1870 that was built, it's like a law building, so it's not really interesting. So the cultural history around this area, especially around the north, is absolutely fascinating. So I've taken it upon myself to basically explore as many areas as possible. I went up to the Lake District, which is something that's kind of close to my heart. As a young kid I was reading the Swallows and Amazons series by Arthur Ransom, and discovering that Arthur Ransom was inspired by the Lake District. That was incredible for me, so I had to go out there and check that out, and also had an opportunity to go across to Central Europe and do some trumpet playing over there, and meeting some people along the way in Vienna and Paris, and that's been amazing. And but that's certainly only possible from being based somewhere like Leeds. And I think others would find this city and this experience brilliant because of the number of opportunities. You have a clean slate, no one knows who you are, you can really be yourself ultimately, but really you can be anyone you want and approach this opportunity in any way you want, basically. And there's too much actually to take in. Even though I've been here for 7 months and I've been doing as much as I can, literally, every day is completely full, but I feel like I'm also wasting opportunities, which is, there's only so many hours in a day, there's only so many things you can do in a day, but it's an amazing chance to really get in there and just do what you do and do what you love, and have that supported by an amazing group of people. Yeah. Being the 2012 and 2013 Pettman Dare International Performance Scholar has been incredibly rewarding and incredibly challenging. A bit of a duality there, but I think some of the most rewarding aspects have been the ability to not overhaul, but certainly undergo a massive rethink about what I'm doing with my life. Having the space to do that. When you're involved in study, for example, or working, it's not really possible to have any perspective on what you're doing, especially being based in your home country. So this has been an amazing opportunity just to sort of really reflect on where I'm at in my life and what I'm doing with music, and through that having mentorship from sort of leading professionals around through the University of Leeds, Royal Northern College of Music, various people around the UK, etc. They've all been helping me develop as an artist and really feeding into what I do musically, creatively. But also along the same lines, that has challenges as well, because you're away from your support network, you're away from any sort of consistencies of life, and I personally am finding that challenging to sort of take all this information on board and try and turn up every day and have an open mind and go through what's quite a significant period of change, I would say, and that does get demanding at times. But to be an optimist, which is what I am naturally, there are amazing people around you. For example, Leslie Patrick and Martin Pickard and Wyn Davies, and the support of the Pettmans, Professor Barry and Maureen Pettman. That has all really fed into sort of affirming that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm right on track, and certainly without people such as them, it would not be possible to have the reward. There are various opportunities that have come up through my PDIPS experience, and I think one of the most important things for me was to equip myself with a whole raft of new skills, basically, that I can't get from just sitting in an orchestral trumpet chair, and that's a brilliant job, and I would love to do that as well, but there are so many other things that I'm interested in, and that a large part of that is meeting and working with people on a day-to-day basis. And one of my long-term goals is to be a senior arts practitioner in New Zealand, and these are all extremely valuable and I think absolutely relevant skills through the PDIPS experience to add to my tool belt, if you will, that I know in the future will make me a lot more, I don't want to say employable, but certainly will add a lot more weight to what I do as an artist and as an arts practitioner. And so I've been now at the end of the 7 months I've been doing a lot of reflecting about where I'm at in my life and my career and things like that, and I think I made a big decision recently to turn down a full-time job in New Zealand in pursuit of further kind of experiences internationally. And I think that's something I alluded to before I came out to Leeds actually, was that I wanted to be a New Zealand ambassador for arts and for culture, and that's something I still firmly believe, and that's something I would love to keep doing. And if that means going between countries, that's totally fine. But certainly I'm really proud of being from New Zealand. I'm really proud of that cultural heritage, and I'm really interested in seeing how far I can take what I do and how far I can take what New Zealand stands for on the international stage. And that has certainly only been possible through being in the UK, because this is an amazing place to go around and contact people, network with people, or just share experiences with people. So where I'm at this current point, I'm in discussions with various people as to how to move forward, but ideally it would be as an international New Zealand ambassador of some description.